As much as I don't like to spend too much of my attention on the matrix, the satanic, perverted, and inverted matrix, some things just need to be said. The matrix loves to divide us, right? Because it understands we are one. The seer and what is seen is one thing. And it knows that's where our power is. So the matrix loves to divide. One of its favorite ways to divide ego mind identities is through the gender wars. See, the matrix loves the gender wars. It loves when a bunch of wounded masculine and wounded feminine are at odds with each other. You see, there's a lot of content, three-dimensional matrix content, a bunch of people stuck in the logical mind trying to figure these gender dynamics out, right? Of course, you have the red pill, all these pills, red pill, blue pill, black pill, whatever pill. But the reality is you are all the pills. You are everything. You see, everything in your environment, that's you. You created all that. See, and although wounded people love all this content, it's divisive. But see, when you embody your true identity, the I am, it takes care of all of it. It'll magnetize women to you. It'll magnetize men without you. It'll magnetize men to you, if that's what you prefer. No judgment. See, when you embody the I am, you won't need to be a low-life manipulator, right? Manipulating people to get them to want you, to desire you, to love you, whatever. You won't have to play all these mind games and manipulate when you operate on God mode. Because that's the sad reality with a lot of this content on YouTube, social media, right? You have to manipulate and be fake and inauthentic, right? And who wants that? We all want to be loved for a true self. But when you're in that three-dimensional matrix primate reality, stuck in the logical mind, that's what you have to do. But see, when you embody the I am, it covers it all, and you'll magnetize people to you. But you see, the satanic matrix don't want you to know that. It wants you to be at odds with the opposite sex. It wants you to hate the opposite sex, right? Because it loves when you're lonely, right? It loves when you're by yourself, when you're angry, because that's what watching that content does. And I love all that content, so there's no judgment. I love when the men are shitting on the women. I love when the women are shitting on the men because I can see their perspectives. I've been there, right? I've watched the content. When my heart was broken, right? My energy changed, and then I attracted that information, right? And then I got into it. The problem is that content lowers your frequency because it keeps you in a low frequency, right? And then reality mirrors you, right? And so when you're watching all this divisive content, right, and it angers you, then your outer reality reflects what's inside because it's a mirror. And so then you attract everything you don't want. And then you say, see, I knew men were like that. I knew women are like that, because you don't realize that you're the creator and you created that. See, you're creating all those women that you hate with your energy, with your low frequency energy. You're creating all those men you hate with your energy, because we create with our state of being. When you don't know who you are, the world will reflect it. When you do know who you are, the world will reflect it. That's why you want to identify as the creator, because that's the truth. But the Matrix loves when you're divided, you're lonely, you're angry, because then maybe you get on drugs to cope, and then that lowers your frequency, and then the world reflects it, right? Maybe you're depressed, that lowers your frequency, and the world reflects it. And then you're reaching outside of yourself, right, to feel that anger and that loneliness. You're reaching outside of yourself for materialism or validation or whatever it is. And see, the Matrix loves that, right? And then you get stuck in this blame game, this victim mode. That's what I see. I see men and women, wounded masculine and wounded feminine, in victim mode, constantly in victim mode, powerless victims, not realizing that they are sons and daughters of the Most High, not realizing they are infinite awareness, not realizing the seer and what is seen is one thing. You are those women that you hate. You are those men that you hate, because you're everything. You are everything. Separation is an illusion. It's an illusion. We are one entity, vibrating at different frequencies. Stop the division consciousness and get your power back. But that's what the Matrix doesn't want you to know about. And then you'll see the media pretends like it's not even happening, right? You'll never see the inauthentic fake media talk about this authentically, right? They'll just pretend like it's not even happening, as if they don't know, right? As if they don't know. They know testosterone levels in men are decreasing. They know this very well. It's not a secret, right? They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care if you're alone. They don't care if you're miserable. They don't care if you if you're creating a horrible reality for yourself. All they care about is if you're watching their worthless content, right? So they can keep you at a low frequency, putting fear in your heart all day and division in your heart all day. See, that's what they do, the mainstream media, right or left. They want to keep you divided when it's all one thing. And they have multiple ways to keep people divided, right? The gender wars is just one of the things, one of the ways that they keep people divided. But understand, you're the creator of everything. Nobody told you though, and you were unconscious. That's why I'm here to tell you. Another thing that I think is interesting about the mainstream media, they have so many viewers, they have so many people watching them, and they never tell their audience that they love them. No matter how much money they make off their audience, giving their audience a bunch of useless content, right? Instead of talking about all the important things that there is to talk about, right? And never once have I ever heard the mainstream media say, we love you and we appreciate you, right? And that's why I want to take this time to say, I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. You know why? Because you're me and I'm you. And once we understand this, once we know this tangibly, we can shift this whole bullshit. And I've created some of the most narcissistic women in my experience that you can imagine. And my family will vouch for me. See, I'm not a victim of it. I created it with my frequency. I just didn't understand that. I was so brainwashed, MK Ultra brainwashed by society, which doesn't even really exist, that I was creating all these experiences that I'm grateful for, by the way, because they were wonderful catalysts. Very painful, but wonderful. So, I'm not talking, wagging my finger at anybody. See, I have been there. But we have to understand, all these women and men we're complaining about, we are creating those experiences. So we need to heal. We need to unprogram from all the brainwashing programs that are causing us to create people in our lives that we don't prefer. See, we think all women are the same, all men are the same, because that's our experience. But that's not true. We're creating that. And once you start identifying as a creator and you stop being a victim, you'll tangibly experience it. You'll start to attract women or men that you couldn't even imagine existed because you had never experienced them once you heal.